comes to paradiddles, but there's really kind of like 4 groupings that are going to be most commonly used, and that's going to be between, you know, right and left and combinations of right and left. So once you can feel comfortable with getting consistency between kick, consistency between the hi-hat, and consistency between the snare, meaning you get the same sound every time, you don't accidentally, you know, pluck a string until you want to pluck a string, and you don't accidentally like hit a harmonic until you want to hit a harmonic. The intent will come in later, but yeah, syncopating between those two, developing those drum rhythms and that groove rhythm, and then dialing it in with a tempo and developing a pocket within your groove. That's going to be what you want to accomplish from these kinds of exercises. But yeah, like I like to kind of start up here more than down here. Down here, you're away from the strings. It can be very limiting, you know, but up here, you can still do a snare and you can still hit the strings. You can catch the strings on your way up from doing a kick, you know, that kind of thing. Catch your strings on your way down. Catch a harmonic, you know, that kind of stuff. But right, left, right, right. First real basic pattern. You can do right, left, left, right. You can do right, left, right, right. And then you can kind of vary it from there. You know, really those two are going to be like the main, you know, crux of developing a form. But being able to you can turn two hits into one. You can develop toms. And you can kind of keep varying from there, but really developing it just by following a drum pattern and thinking of just the kick and the snare is going to be a really great place to start. But yeah, I mean, from there you can start kind of changing some of these different parts into actually playing notes, whether it be a tap, you know, whether it be a harmonic, doesn't really matter. But you know, that kind of plays into, like, I have a song like called War Games, and War Games kind of this will kind of tie into the way I think when I compose too. War Games, I had this idea of war drums. You know, I wanted something that was like kind of could relate to a war drum kind of rhythm. So I wanted to start with the drums. But yeah, that kind of pattern of development comes from just those real basic kind of methods when it comes to paradiddles. Being able to syncopate your left and your right hand. Turning this hand into a note, into like a tap, that kind of thing, instead of just the mute. But still having that option to create a staccato or to mute the strings with your left hand is going to be really useful with writing, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, that was sort of like the basis of the idea with that song, is war drums, war games, you know. And I guess I could perform it, you know, at least part of it, just to kind of illustrate some of the concepts that I just explained. Strings are dead. I'm trying to save strings. I got quite a few gigs after this, so and I'm going to change the strings before the gig tonight. I'm not going to play with these, but just forgive me if they sound a little lifeless. But yeah, War Games. just like part of that song.
Yeah.
You can see where a lot of it breaks down to just kick and snare, and sort of trying to turn, you know, one hit into two hits. You can sort of you can sneak like some rascados in there and kind of come down to a hit down here. I do that a lot with that particular song.